Okay, you guys, honestly, I did not plan to come up here today. I hope that you can hear me okay. Um, I'm never quite sure. I told you I'm trying out some new technology and I barely know what I'm doing. Anyway, I had to come up here and have this conversation because I was just gonna like leave it as a community tab post, but I mean, I was so blown away by these pictures that I can't remember who I was watching. I was watching another YouTuber, and what she was really talking about was if Beyonce had got her body done. And she was doing it while she was doing her makeup. And you guys know I'm not into celebrity stuff like that. If I speak on a celebrity issue, it's because it crosses over into a political issue. But she goes, she shows Kylie Jenner and she goes, what's funny is that Kylie Jenner's makeup artist, who is the person that's in my thumbnail, the man that's in my thumbnail, and he's not even, I don't even think he's transgender. I think he's just a regular schmegular, gay boy, gay man. So she's like, Kylie won't admit that she got her body done, but now that her makeup artist, this man, has got his body done, and his body looks just like her body. I mean, except for he chose not to get breasts, right? That it's obvious that her body's been done. And she was like, why would she even let him do that? Because now you know her body's been done. But as I was looking at this man, I feel like I should put a picture up of him. I really feel like I should. Hold on. Let me bring it up. I feel like we need a visual so that we can fully appreciate what's being discussed here. So I'm going to make a visual. All right. So let me share my screen because I feel like it doesn't mean as much if you can't look at the picture at the same time. And I want to be clear, this particular conversation is not about him per se. Okay. It's not about him per se. It's about how we can't tell men from women anymore. And like, and like how people are being conditioned. Like, honestly, I think people are being conditioned to kind of swing multiple ways. And just follow me down the rabbit hole here. Follow me down the rabbit hole. So, it is some strange times. So, here's the thing. Now, women always feel some kind of way because we are put into very tight constraints as far as what is considered attractive. And unfortunately, what is considered attractive now is unnatural bodies. So, bodies that can be achieved only with surgery. So, we know like the average woman, you know, has like a woman's body, but exaggerated body pieces and exaggerated proportions are not naturally how women come out, right? When you're walking out on the street, you don't see a bunch of women who are just naturally like build a body chicks, right? But now, because women, if you're flat chested, you have to go out and you have to get breast implants, and then the breast implants look like two little balls on your chest. And then, if you don't have a butt, you go and you get a Brazilian butt lift, and then you get everything sucked out and contoured and shaped and all this stuff, right? What ends up happening is that women then don't have women's bodies, they have build a bodies. The problem with the build a body is that you can have people like this man right here who can go buy your body. So here we have a whole man. He's a whole man. He's got an itty bitty waist. He's got hips. He's got a little butt. Y'all, I could bring out, like, if I really wanted to play games, I have some butt shot pictures of him. You know what? Let's do it. Like, he has some very interesting pictures from the back, from the side, all this stuff, right? The point is that when I did, if you guys saw my community tab, I only showed his pictures from the waist down, right? Because, especially in the Black community, and this is why I really think it's an attack on Black people. Like, I'm not even trying to make this racial. I'm just saying that in other communities, wafy looking women are preferred. So kind of really ultra skinny women who don't really have a body, but then they have like fake boobs, right? That is what is preferred in other communities. In the Black community, what's preferred are often these extreme curves. So when he got his body done like that, who was he trying to get? He's not trying to pull. I mean, who's he trying to pull? I just want to know who's he trying to pull. But what's crazy is that if you just chop off his head, right? Because I don't think he's transgender. I think he's just like, a regular gay guy. If you chop off his head, I wish there was a way I could chop off his head. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, no, I can't do it. If you chop off his head, right? If you just chop it off a little bit, tell me how his body is not like every female's body that men like. Just work with me here. Take your hand and cover up his head on your screen. Just only look at him from the neck down and tell me that's not every single person on Instagram. Tell me, women, if you don't look like him from the neck down, if you're supposedly a bad bodied female, like you don't have a good shape. Just cover up his head and tell me I'm lying right now. So basically, I have to look like a surgically augmented man, you know what I'm saying, to be considered an attractive woman. Do you see how the tides have turned? Do you see how the tides have turned? Men, you guys need to be careful out here. You are being conditioned to accept a body that could be put on anybody because it's not a real body, it's a fake body. So the standard for beauty has literally become a body that can be literally transplanted onto anybody because it's not a real body, it's a fake body. So anybody could have that body. Do we not think this is slightly problematic that you can cover up this man's head and it looks like every girl on Instagram? This is the madness has to stop, you guys. The madness really has to stop. Well, yeah, he must be trying to pull straight men. And what's interesting is that if I showed this to you from the waist down, he's not even tucking his penis. He's just wearing a bikini. But everybody is probably so distracted by the curve of his hip right here, the curve of his hip. Everybody's probably so distracted by that part of him and the little waist, right? That they don't care that he is actually got a penis right here, or that that he's a whole man out here. I just I think that we have to really think the standard of beauty, right? And women and men both have a role in this. Men, you guys are getting very accustomed to bodies that surgeons create, to the point that if I did not show this man's head, 80% of you guys would not know that this was a whole man with a beard and a penis. You just would have thought this was a woman with a bad body, a beautiful body that you liked. If I would have just chopped off his head, 90% of men would have probably thought that was a woman, because the body that you prefer is not a woman's body. The body that you prefer is a surgically altered body. Women, we are helping this because many women go from having a regular woman's body to a surgically altered body because we're pandering to the idea that simply having a woman's body is not womanly enough. Like you were born with a whole uterus, but somehow that's not good enough. So we do all these things to make ourselves appear more womanly, but what we're really doing is making it easier for people to emulate us, right? It's going to be very hard to achieve a natural woman's body, but you could definitely achieve a build a body. Anybody could buy that body, clearly, because this man bought the body. He's got the body of every Instagram girl. Yeah, if you shave the beard and put a wig on him, some contour. But see, let me and see that don't even bring. I don't even want to talk about the wig thing. It's not that women. It's not a problem for us to wear our hair any kind of way. I'm just saying when we do the elaborate makeup, when we do the wigs, then we get the fake breast, then we get the fake butt. At that point, that's how people like him are capable of looking like whole women because all he has to do is go get breast implants, a Brazilian butt lift, a wig, and a bunch of makeup, and then he literally looks like us. Now, they could never pass for us if we kept our natural state. It would be very hard for them to pass for women. But because they get women so down on their physical appearance, and because they've trained men to be so attracted to bodies that are not natural female bodies, women feel compelled to then make themselves over in these ways. But the problem with that is you're making yourself over in a way that a man can duplicate. So now you can't tell the real from the fake. Really, what I should have done is I should have just put a picture of without his head. That's what I really should have done that, honestly, you guys. Oh, I'm not worried about them getting the man pregnant. That part I'm not worried about. And so think about this. I want you to put all this together. Okay, men, really think about this. Y'all have to think about the homosexuality of it all. First of all, you only are supposed to be attracted to bodies like this man has. First of all. So first, you're only supposed to be attracted to these bodies that somebody purchased. Then you're not supposed to want the woman to have kids. Okay? So now you have a purchased body that even a man could have, as we can see from the pictures. And then, and I wanted to say, these are not Photoshop pictures. This is Kylie Jenner's makeup artist. So this is a man that we know is a man. Then you're not supposed to want her to have kids, right? All these things, right? So basically, somebody could hand you a man who's had surgery and he could meet all the criteria. He could have the build a body, he could have the wig, he could have the makeup, and he won't have any kids because he can't get pregnant. And then you think you've hit the jackpot. You think you've hit the jackpot. Like, think about this. The criteria that they're setting for men to expect from women at this point is the sort of criteria that could get you in a situation with a whole man. It really is. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be any kind of way. I'm just saying that it's getting real out here. The gays are doing the most out here in these streets. And, when I saw this picture, I was like, oh, I was like, woohoo, this is some different ish right here. This right here, we're moving to the next level. They've leveled up. The gays are leveling up. Okay. And quite frankly, heterosexual men and women, we are helping them level up because we are holding each other to standards that can only be achieved through surgery, which means that all the gays have to do is go and get some surgery. No, most of them keep their penises. You guys know, okay, my new subscribers may not know, but y'all, I did an in-depth video on the penile inversion surgery. It's very graphic. You see all the details of the penile inversion stuff. I did an entire video on it where we went step by step and we watched a man get the surgery. That stuff, they flip the penis inside out, they chop it all up into different, it's very deep. It's very, very deep. That's why when the new, transgender guy that Biden has in office, that guy, when he was talking about whether or not he felt children should be able to get that surgery, and people were coming down on that one rep for calling it mutilation. Well, for those of you guys who saw my video where we watched a man get that surgery, go back into my video archives. If you can stomach it, because it's very bloody. Go back to my video archives. We watched a man get the whole entire surgery from penis to it. They shoved it up in his body. We watched the whole thing. If that's not mutilation, I don't know what is. Do you guys remember how they cut the tip of his penis off and then they flipped the skin inside out and then they singed the hair so that he wouldn't grow hair in his fake vagina because they put the inside of the penis the outside of the penis on the inside, and it can grow hair inside of there. So they had to like treat it so it wouldn't grow hair, y'all. It was wild. I was on the floor. I was like, wow, these people are mentally ill. These doctors are criminals. I was outraged. I couldn't believe it. But that's a totally different story. You have to go back and watch the video for yourself if you dare. But I just have to say that okay, well, don't go back and watch the video. And if you don't want to see the real thing, I showed the real thing, the whole entire surgery on this channel, and did a whole commentary on it. Just because when we co-sign this behavior, we got to know what we're co-signing. We're like everybody, just be yourself. And blah, blah, blah. When we're saying that, like you don't even know what it means when they're being themselves. Like we have to know the things that we're co-signing. But again, if you just take your hand and just cover up his head. Now, men, I want you guys to be honest in the chat. Now, men, now that you know that it's a man, you guys aren't going to be honest. But be real. If you covered up his head and you only showed his lower body, even though he doesn't have any breasts, tell me that's not the exact body shape that you guys are supposed to want. Tell me it's not. Tell me it's not. I want you guys to keep it real. But this is not, but here's the thing. This right here, like for example, when he's in the white, women are not shaped like that. Naturally, women don't have 20-inch waists and 42-inch hips. That's not the natural proportions of any woman naturally. No woman has an 18-inch waist and 42-inch hips. So there's no women that are shaped like that naturally. We're just not made that way. We have like stuff going on in there. I mean, like nobody is shaped that way in real life. But because now we are so desensitized to seeing women with unnatural body proportions, when we see him in this white outfit right here where he's wearing the sweatsuit, we think that that's normal. So we're not suspicious of the fact, well, first of all, he has a man's stomach. Let's talk about that. But we're not suspicious. I mean, you can see his whole package, in the pink outfit. But we're so, we're taught so much that all you need is a contour of the hips, and the bigger the contour, the better, that we just assume that it's automatically a woman because we are so accustomed on social media to seeing augmented women. And then when you go out into the real world and you see a normal looking woman, then people are like, oh my gosh, she's not cute, blah, 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 blah. Her body's not nice. No, her body is a woman's body. She didn't purchase her body. That's just how women are shaped. But we don't know we don't know what they look like anymore. We have no clue. We have no clue because everything we see is filtered. Everybody we see has had plastic surgery. Everybody has been airbrushed for these pictures on social media. And that's the expectation for women. So now you have a whole man out here who, if you covered up his head, most men would think that that was a woman and feel attracted to him. You would look at him, think he's a woman, and you would feel attracted to him. That is very problematic. And then they tell you on top of that, that you don't want a woman who's fertile. Now, I'm not saying if you don't have kids, you guys, I already did a whole live. I understand people without kids dating women without kids. But to literally say that a deal breaker is for a woman to have children, that's kind of evidence that she is like a woman, like the bleeding and the children and all stuff. Like, we're coming to the days where you need some like serious vetting. Like I need to be like 1,000% sure that you're actually female. Those of you who heard the mixtape, last week's mixtape, Mr. said that about me. He was like, Irene is fine, but I had to make sure she had some kids. I need to make sure that he's like, because we're from California. He's like, because it's real out here in these streets. So a lot of men already think like that. A lot of men don't, which is why I wanted to show these pictures because look at man, you guys will be online looking at women's bodies, and that may not be a woman that you're looking at. Especially, you know how they like to take the pictures now where they don't show the women's heads. Be careful of these decapitated female bodies. Be careful of these decapitated female bodies, okay? Be careful when all you see is from the neck down. You never know what you're getting. Hi, Evie. Hips are on the tops of thighs. I mean, but who knows what they look like anymore? Well, I'm going to say this. I don't think they'll ever replace real women, but I do think they're trying to remake Greco-Roman society. And I've talked about this on my channel before. You know, in Greco-Roman society, the men were hot and heavy for each other, and the women were second-class citizens. Do you know what I mean? So I do think they want the men to start being hot and heavy for each other. And the easiest way to do that is to start tricking men into, like, you know, it's like a mind freak. You know what I mean? It's like a mind freak. First they get you acclimated to something that is not a natural woman shape, then they stick that shape on everybody. And then all every time you see a butt or breast, you get excited, even if it's not real. And so, you know, I think men have to be more careful than anything. Now, they're not going to replace women. Like, we can't be replaced. I'm not worried about that. You know what I mean? But the men could all get hot and heavy for each other and not realize that they're being conditioned to be hot and heavy for each other. Because, like I said, if you covered up this dude's head, every man would be like, "Oh, her body's nice." A lot of men would pick this man's body over a natural woman's body if you covered up her head. Let's say if you chopped off her head, and that's scary. It's scary that men, you guys have been so socially conditioned that if you were given a natural woman's body and then somebody chopped off the head of this body, be honest, which body would you pick? I'm not talking about a woman that's like, you know, like that perverted lady that I have on my community tab, you know, 300 pounds. I just mean like a regular woman's body, right? If you had to pick between a regular woman's body and if you didn't know this was a man and you covered up his head in this body, which body would you pick? John is like, no. Yeah, well, that's right. There's no kitty cat down there. There's definitely some packaging going on down there. How tall are you if you're a size 11? Girl, you must be tall as heck. I wear a size 6.5, a 7 on a good day. A size 11 is huge. No, this is not. See, this is what I'm talking about. Yes, it's real. This is Kylie Jenner's makeup artist. Kylie Jenner, you know, of the Kardashian clan. This is her makeup artist. He went and got his body done. Here, y'all think I'm playing. I'll show you. He went and got his body done, you guys. You guys can Google it. Just Google Kylie Jenner's makeup artist. Okay. I'm not making this up. This is not a Photoshop picture. This is him. Because you can make anybody's look like a build. You can make anybody have a build a body. That's why we have to, like, look, no offense to women who get their bodies done. I'm just saying y'all are messing up the game out here, okay? Y'all are messing up the game. When you're getting your body done, you're messing up the game because anybody can look like you at this point. And then men get accustomed to looking at women with fake bodies. And then these men are going out and they're getting the same fake body that you got. And now the men are confused. They don't know which one are the real women and which one are the fake women. Like, women, we're not helping our own cause here. This is not, we're like, the men are in, and like I said, this particular shape of build a body is only for black men. This shape of build a body is not for white guys. This is black male entrapment right here. That's what's going on. It's black male entrapment. Yes, he does look like he copied her homework. Him and Kylie Jenner have the same body, except for she has breasts. I think he likes the idea just based on the pictures that I've seen online of him. I think he likes the idea of still people knowing for a fact that he's a man. I think he probably gets off on it, but he has a girl body. Do you know what I mean? Because he didn't get his breast done. He still has his packaging. He still has a full beard, y'all, a whole beard on his face. All of that. But I'm mad that one of you guys thought this was Photoshop. You see how we are in denial? This is why I had to do this video. We are in denial, y'all. What did they say? Denial is not just a river in Africa. It is not just a river in Africa. Yes, he's got his nails done. Everything. Everything. It's real out here. They, it is real out here. But I mean, but that's the thing. And I guess that's my point. And I want to talk about like what are men attracted to? Like what men are attracted to and how by us augmenting ourselves as women do we allow confusion to go on? This is confusion. This man right here, this is confusion. But if there weren't women who bought these bodies too, the minute somebody saw his body, they would be like, "Oh, that's a transgender body." Or, "Oh, that body shape is a gay dude." You know what I mean? But because so many women have purchased the same body that he purchased, nobody can tell the difference anymore. He could be a woman who just got her body done, right? If you didn't see the rest of him, if you chopped his head off, he could be anybody. Exactly. And I'm glad you brought up stretch marks, right? I'm so glad that you brought up stretch marks because don't have any stretch marks from you just getting a womanly body. Because, women, as our bodies grow and stretch and we get our hips and our curves, we get stretch marks. But you're not allowed to have stretch marks as a woman. Honestly, really what they want are men. They want men to be attracted to men. You can't have kids. You can't have stretch marks. The little, what do they call it? A fupa? A fupa? A fupa is actually your uterus because, women's stomachs are higher than men's stomachs. So women's stomachs sit like directly under our breasts, down by our pubic bone. That's your uterus. That's your uterus. But if your uterus protrudes out because it's a uterus, people talk trash. Well, dang it, that proves that I have a uterus. Why would you talk trash about my uterus? Like it's big, like that's a uterus, y'all. Because I know for me personally, I have a flat stomach. I have a flat stomach, but because I've had kids, I have a little tiny bump right there. And I've literally had people come for me for my bump. And I'm like, do you recognize that that's my uterus? Like, because I'm a girl? Because I have a womb? You're pissed off because you can see my uterus? But that, like, we get shamed for female stuff. That's why I'm saying, men, they are trying to make you guys unattracted to women's bodies. All the things that men are taught not to like on women are actually things that come with having women body parts, women bits and pieces. Like, that's part of womanhood. A uterus is on both sides, not the middle. Oh my gosh, are you serious right now? Please say that you're not serious. So you won't be able to tell a man from a woman. Let me help you, poor thing. Oh my gosh. You said a uterus is on both sides, not the middle. Are you serious right now? Is that like a real, did you take sexual education? Did you honestly say that a uterus is on both sides? A uterus? A singular uterus is on both sides, not the middle of a woman's body? Are you for real? Please tell me you're not for real. I want to believe that you're just joking. That a uterus is on both sides. That is this a real okay, let me show let's I didn't know this was gonna turn into an anatomy lesson. Now y'all are starting to scare me out here in this world. I'm starting to be very, I'm telling y'all are starting to really concern me out here. You said a uterus is on both sides, not in the middle. Are you joking right now? Hold on. All right. Well, sex education is in session, y'all. I'm sorry. He said a uterus is on both sides, not in the middle. Not in the middle. Okay, let me show you something. It's not fat because a very thin person can have it. But I just want to show a uterus is on both sides, not in the middle. These are the things I can't do. I can't do it, but that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna get it together, y'all. I'm gonna take you back to fifth grade real quick. Just real quick, like, all right, a uterus is on both sides, not in the middle. This in the middle is the uterus. What do you mean it's not in the middle? It's literally in the middle. This is the uterus right here. This thing. The stomach of a woman is above her belly button. A woman's stomach is way up here above her belly button. Her uterus is way down here by her pubic bone, like I said. The things that are on both sides are called ovaries and fallopian tubes. There is absolutely no reason that we are in a room full of grown-ups and we are literally talking about a uterus is on both sides of a woman, not in the middle. Like this is why y'all can't tell the difference between a man and a woman. This is exactly why nobody can tell the difference between a man and a woman. When we start saying a uterus is on both sides, not in the middle, baby, no, it's definitely for sure, sweetheart. It's definitely in the middle. Y'all are scaring me. I'm gonna need you guys to stop trolling me. Please don't troll me. This is a very serious topic. And y'all are always playing games. And that is not cool. Like I need you guys to stop. Stop with the shenanigans. This is not a joking matter. This is not a joking matter. This is serious stuff. And you guys are playing games around here. I love you guys, but come on now. This is why we're messed up in the game. Okay. this is These are the things that'll have us messed up in the game right now. Yes, these are black women's proportions. They're trying that's why I said to me this is like an attack on because there's a certain group of men that like this particular series, this particular thing. So, oh, okay. He said he was definitely thinking ovaries. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But you might not have been the only person thinking it, family. So we just got to clear it up. We got to clear it up. And the reason I bring it up, honestly, and I did an analysis on like facial structure, but the reason I bring it up is because the way a woman's body is shaped, her pelvis tips to the front. Like I'm just basic anatomy. A woman's because of her uterus, her pelvis tips to the front, and it affects the way a woman's body is shaped. It also affects the way that she walked. When I did my video, uh, what do I call it? Single white female or something? I forget what I called it. When I went through like different how they impersonate our voices and the way we walk and our body shapes and our all of those things. If you go to my 5 hour gay day video, it's like one of the videos in there because I can't remember like the actual video name. But my point in all this is that, you know, my point in all this is it's real out here in these streets. And we want to be careful, I think, what we try to achieve as Black women as far as beauty standards. We want to be very careful about the beauty standards that we try to achieve, because some of these beauty standards are being peddled to us because women are taught to hate their bodies. Women are taught that they always need to improve. Women are taught that they're never quite beautiful enough. That's why you will have the most attractive women that will still have a level of like things about themselves that they don't like, even though they're gorgeous, right? And so women are taught to self hate. And in the self hate, our self hatred and low self esteem is being manipulated to get us to go get ourselves augmented. This is just my tin hat theory. The reason they want women to start augmenting their bodies is because if men get accustomed to looking at augmented female bodies, then these kind of shenanigans that this brother is up to, well, he's not a brother, I think he's white. These kind of shenanigans that this white boy is up to, that the gays are up to, these kind of shenanigans will fly. They will be easier to infiltrate and confuse men. Because, like I said, if I chop the head off of this dude, men would think that they were looking at an attractive woman because they don't know any better. Because they've gotten so used to looking at these augmented bodies, they would just think he was a dude that had work done. Although, honestly, a lot of men, I'm going to keep it real. Like, I love you guys, but you guys, a lot of you guys are in denial because a woman will obviously have had her body done and then you still want to believe like it's a natural body. So I feel like there's a lot of denial going on as well. But, men and women, like, we both have a part in this. Women, we have a part in it because we keep augmenting ourselves. And the more we augment ourselves, the easier it is to replicate what we look like. It's very hard to replicate a natural woman, but it's real easy to replicate something that somebody literally built in a surgery room, right? And as we see, as we see right here, this is being done. So this is just some food for thought. Our uterus are not testicles, and our ovaries are not testicles either. An egg and sperm are two very different things. All of those talking points were talking points made because they want to say that gender is not a real thing. We have to be real careful with these ovaries are the female version of testicles and all these kind of talking points. All that foundation is foundational work for trying to say that gender is fluid and that there is not really a male or female. We're just variations of each other. Like those are some gay talking points. Now, you may not realize they're homosexual talking points, but I'm telling you right now, those are some indoctrinative talking points. And that's really why I brought this picture up, is because a lot of this stuff that is done to indoctrinate us into homosexuality, and we don't even recognize that it's indoctrination. But a lot of these talking points, these bodies they want us to have, all these things about kind of being anti women's wombs, like anti child and this is anti woman at its core, because what they want you to be attracted to are other men. They want y'all attracted to men. They want it to seem like there's no difference. And so what they do is, they backdoor it. Nobody's going to come out and say, give up women, but they will chip away at your idea of what womanhood is with crazy theories like, ovaries are basically the same thing as testicles. Ovaries and testicles are very different. Just because they're both round and there's two of them, right, does not mean that they're the same. If that's the case, an actual egg is the same. If that's the case, a ball is the same. If all that's required is for it to be in pairs and round, there's a lot of things that come in pairs that are round. That does not make them the same. So we have to be very careful with that. Well, yeah, I guess backdoor was kind of like a double entendre, but I did not mean that. I didn't mean it to be a double entendre. But anyway, I didn't mean it to be a double entendre. Yeah, they built them. They even built them like when they cut their penises up and like flip them inside out, they built them like cervixes. They build them like a little cervix so that they can feel like they have something going on too. It's not a cervix, obviously. It's like the tip of their penis that's been molded to kind of resemble something that is like a botched cervix. But the games are real out here. So, what is my point? Where am I going with this, y'all? Where am I going with this? The only place that I'm really going with this is that we need to be careful, right? A lot of the behaviors we engage in is them playing on our insecurities and our sexual desires. So they play on women's insecurities to get us to modify our bodies. They need our bodies to be modified because if they want to duplicate what we look like, they need to have something they can reliably duplicate. So the more we modify our bodies in a surgeon's office, the more ability they have to augment people who are not women, so men, into looking like women. It is much more easy for them to duplicate something that they create on a surgical table than it is for them to duplicate a natural woman. So we have to be careful. And men, you have to be careful because I know that you guys, are visual creatures and everything. I understand. But just because, and I understand like a really big butt or like really big breasts are exciting for men. But, just back away from your sexuality for a second and your sex drive and just realize that just because it's larger doesn't make it better. Okay. Like I think the picture on the screen proves that, okay? Just because it's a more exaggerated female body doesn't mean that it's a good thing, right? Would you rather have a less exaggerated female body and be sure that you're getting a woman? Or would you rather have a grossly exaggerated female body and then find out that you don't have a woman at all, but another man? You got to think about these things, okay? Just say some food for thought. So, who's Young Buck? Oh, wait, where is he at? Who is Young Buck? I don't know who Young Buck is. I don't know who Young Buck is. I'm literally not sure. Oh, a rapper? Okay. Y'all know I don't. You guys know I don't flex with rap all like that. He's a rapper. Okay, well, yeah, that's probably how they got him then. But maybe he knew too. You know what I mean? Some people are just in the closet and they talk about they've been got and got, and they didn't. Nobody got them. They just got found out, and they're trying to be in denial. But a lot of men do get got, right? Because these people have something as unclockable. Now, what I will say about this particular man who we're looking at here, Kylie Jenner's makeup artist, is what I'll say about him is he clearly wants you to know he's a man. I think the ones that are more problematic are the ones who want to be what they call unclockable, meaning you can't clock the fact that they're men. There are actually men out there who their goal is that they walk through society and the average man won't be able to know that they are actually men. And I think those people are far more problematic than somebody like him who clearly wants to halfway look like he's part man, part woman. So anyway, I'm not gonna stay I'm not gonna stay on here any longer. Well, the voice doesn't always give it away. Double hashtag. Can I call you double hashtag? Where are you at? Can I call you double hashtag? The voice doesn't always give it away. That's why I said, y'all go watch my 5 hour gay day. Because I have a whole section on my 5 hour gay day where who's seen that video? There was that man and he was I can't do a deep voice because my voice is a little bit high, but he was like, he was like, oh, he was talking really low. And then he started to yell in a high pitched female voice. It was like demonic. Did y'all see who saw that video? Who can vouch for that clip from that video where that man had a Barry White voice? This man had a voice as deep as Barry White. And he managed to talk yell and everything in a high pitched voice that was very, very female. That freaked me out. I was like, what in the witchcraft? Like, what is going on? Did you guys, who saw that? Did any of you guys in the chat see that video that I did? The single white female esque, I think that's what it was called. Anyway, the clip is in the 5 Hour Gay Day. You can't always tell by the voice. Some of these, they have the voices down, and they also have a surgery that they can get where they cut their vocal cords so that they start to have a high pitched voice like a woman. See, you can't play games with these people. You know, everybody, the day's going to come where you're only going to date a woman if you've seen a baby literally come out of her body. The only women men are going to want to date. It'll be like, unless I watch you give birth to another human, I cannot be sure what you are. The days are going to come for that. All these things men are trying to avoid about women, you'll be looking for them. Like, I need to see the menstrual juices come out of your body. I need to know that that's a fact. Because some of them even pretend to have a menstrual cycle. Like, they use pads and they keep pads in their house so that men think that they have that, even though they obviously don't, because they don't have ovaries or eggs or uterus. But you know, it gets real out here in these streets. It's a whole game. Did I see the crash on the highway where a big rig? No. Where would I see that? I didn't see that. You know, I don't have any hands or anything. You are so bad. Single moms rubbing their hands like Birdman. Well, look, I'm telling you right now, it might be the come up in this world, because if it gets too real out here, you know, these men will be out here like, I'd rather take a kid than a man. Like, if I do, I want a man or do I want a woman with a kid? I'm gonna take the woman with the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about to get that real. It's literally about to get that real out here. You guys think I'm playing, but it's not a game. Anyway, that is some food for thought. Just consider what you're attracted to. Men, be careful. You be on, you know, all these social media sites. You be browsing all the Pornhub sites, all that stuff. You think you're looking at a woman, you can't see her head. She's got, you know, obviously some fake bits and pieces. She's twerking and all the stuff. And then you just never know what you're looking at. Okay. You might be looking at a whole man. So maybe it's time to that we all exact a little bit of self control. Women, you know, I know that the world is hard on us. The world is not kind to us about our bodies and things like that. But just know that we enable these kind of shenanigans that this man is engaging in. We enable these kind of shenanigans when we augment ourselves too much. The closer women stay to natural, I firmly believe this. The closer we stay to natural, the harder it will be for these people to pass, because they will look like unnatural versions of us. But as if we keep changing ourselves and augmenting ourselves, we will literally look like the fake women. Literally. You're not going to be able to tell the difference between a real woman and a fake woman if we keep going down this road. So that's something to think about, like the bigger picture. And, you know, if we could just show love and appreciation for real women, like, you know, women just rocking the body that God gave them. If we just show that appreciation, then men, you won't have to be in a position where you got to question every time you see a woman what you're looking at, right? Because you're gonna know what you're getting. Like, we have to get back to that, because the social media will have our minds messed up, man. We'll be out here all into something and don't realize what we're into. We'll be out here thinking that we're into something and start questioning our sexualities and things, because you don't know, well, you know, y'all will be questioning your sexuality, because, you know, these women who try to look like men, they're not very passable. But these men who try to look like women, yeah, it's getting real out here. So anyway, no eyelashes. Yeah. And do you know that those eyelashes, like, okay, again, if you want to wear the fake lashes, I'm not coming, like, women, do you, right? But I just want to say that, do you know that those fake eyelashes can get mites, like little bugs and stuff? Because I guess, like, Y'all, I just use mascara. I'm gonna tell you right now. Dior Show, Christian Dior Show. That mascara is amazing. Now you might have to buy a tube of it every month because it dries out real quick, but the formula is great. Just buy yourself some Dior Show, and then you won't have to worry about fake lashes. Okay, just get yourself a bottle of that. Thank me later, and you will have lush, full lashes. They won't be goopy. It's very buildable. It'll look great. Maybe if you want, you can add like some lash fibers on top of that, like the little mascara ones that kind of elongate your lashes a little bit more. Go over it with another little swoop of mascara and just call it a day, y'all. Because I'm just saying, like, the more artificial we look, the easier it is for them to imitate us, right? They have to wear all that makeup. They have to get all that body work, all those surgeries. They have to wear the wigs. They have to wear the fake eyelashes. They have to do all that to look like us. If none of us are wearing any of that stuff, they're going to look like clowns. That's what they're going to look like. They're going to look like they're female impersonators. They're going to look like they're trying very hard to look like us. But the problem is, us women, we start doing our makeup like drag queen makeup. We're going and getting the bodies. We're going and doing like we're doing everything over the top as women. Kind of like literally, I'm not even trying to be funny, but like drag queens. Remember how drag queens used to be the only one that had the big Sharpie brows? And drag queens used to be the only ones that wore the elaborate like wigs and hair. Drag queens used to be the only one that did like all the bright colored eyeshadows and stuff. Drag queens were the only one that were like chiseling and like contouring their faces. Like it used to just be men who were trying to be clownish versions of women that did that. Somewhere along the line, they convinced us women to start making ourselves look like them so that they could more easily imitate us. Y'all, it's like it's very twisted out here. And we have to peep the game, right? If we do not get hip to the game, we're going to keep feeding into it and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And one day we're going to look up and the gender war is not going to be what takes our men away. It's going to be all these it's going to be because they're going to be confused about what they've got going on. It's not going to be the gender war, y'all. It's not going to be anything but confusion that's going to end up really causing the divide. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. I just thought this was a funny conversation to have. When I saw the pictures of this guy, I was on the floor. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you guys what I did. I'm very naughty. I cut off his head. Y'all, I downloaded the pictures on my phone and I cut off his head and I sent it to a bunch of guys that I know. And I was like, do you like this body? Y'all, I'm messy. I was sending it to all my little guy friends. I was like, do you like this body? Now, some of them, I know some really heterosexual guys, and some of them were like, nah, no. Why? And then I sent them the full picture, and they were like, oh, you were testing me? You were testing me? But I had a couple of them who could not clock it. They could not clock it. They couldn't clock that man tummy. They couldn't clock that penis in the bikini. They could not clock it. There were a couple of them, but I'm happy to say that the majority of the men that I know in my life, they passed the test. They saw that body and they were like, that looks a little sus. And they didn't have the benefit of seeing his head because I only sent the bottom of the body. But I was curious, you guys. You know me, I'm always testing. Look, I will test. If there's one thing I will test in a man, it's his sexuality. I will come up with everything's a test. Everything's a test. I'll be asking trick questions and everything because, I got to know. We have to be careful too, ladies out here these days. Now, we may not have to worry about women who look like men because all the women who dress up like men look like women dressed up like men. But we do have to worry about these men that swing multiple ways and, you know, 7 and 8 directions and stuff. So I just like to know what's going on in the world. But anyway, I'm out. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.